Welcome to Ride Rehab, the WDWNT podcast of ridiculously ridiculous. Welcome to Ride Rehab, the WDWNT podcast of ridiculously reskinning rides, attractions, and areas of Walt Disney World Resort in Florida. My name is Tyler Mann.
And I'm Thomas Kiernan.
And joining us on this very special episode is Alicia Kaiser, Ron Deanna, and Matthew Soberman.
Hello.
Now, normally we record this podcast from a secret hiding place. Last year, when we were doing this marathon show and we were, recording our podcast, we were in Imagineering offices, and that's where we are again, all five of us. So we actually found this interesting book, and it says, "From My Dream, Walt Disney." Tom, it's been a year. Let's open it up. What's inside?
Well, from what I can tell, it's just a bunch of gibberish. This is not helping me rehab any rides, so this is completely worthless.
I found this thing that says confidential. Here, let me just open it. I don't know what that is. I don't know what I'm looking at right now.
That looks completely alien to me.
Forget that. Okay, well, you know what, everyone, since we're all here hiding out in this Imagineering office, we may as well talk about Walt Disney World Resort.
Different levels of the same Imagineering office.
Yes. Hopefully we can...
We're communicating through the intercom system.
I think we have just about 2 hours before Disney security finds us. So people always want us to talk about a fifth gate. We have Magic Kingdom, we have Epcot, we have Hollywood Studios and Animal Kingdom. What should the fifth park be? And that's what the topic of this show is going to be tonight. So, where do we even start? Just for a little bit of... Well, we have infinite time and money, by the way.
Yes. Imagine we're living in a wonderful world where you can just think of something and it appears in the Disney property. What was I going to say?
Budget constraints.
No budget constraints. No, I lost it.
Okay, well...
I tried.
Well, we're going to try and come up with our own idea for what a fifth park would be. I'm sure all of us have our own ideas individually, but I think collectively, if we put our heads together, maybe we might be able to come up with something.
The perfect new addition. It's relevant and...
It's more relevant, more timeless,
more Disney, more Instagram purple walls.
Oh my god, yeah. What if? Well, that's a good idea. What if there's just a whole section of a park that's just Instagram walls? Just backdrop.
Instagram.
Instaland.
Instaland. Is that the whole park?
Yeah, because then it has no, that's just part of it. But then it has your walls. It has all of the really trendy ears and spirit jerseys, and then it's got all the Instagram food.
Instagram heard us talking about them. They're cutting the signal.
I hate to say it. I feel like that's what the Play Pavilion is just going to be.
Maybe
it might be.
That has to be.
Big food court. Get all your photos.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Lots of dyed milkshakes and.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I have a crazy idea for a new park. It's going to be a experimental prototype community of tomorrow, where we're actually going to build a small functional city, and it's going to help push humanity forward. Or we could just not. Wouldn't that be a crazy idea for a park? I would love to see how that would have. I guess every fan would like to have seen how Epcot would have really turned out if it had been made into a city. I keep doing this motion because I picture the circle graph with the towers coming.
Yeah. So kind of like the colonial. So it's like the colonial Williamsburg of the future.
Kind of, I guess. Yeah.
Have any of you guys ever been through Celebration?
No, we have not. Not us, at least.
No.
Anybody else?
No, really.
It kind of reminds me of the Stepford Wives community, the perfect white picket fence that just is so perfect it scares you. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the inspiration for Get Out.
Oh Lord.
So, Jordan Peele visited Celebration and thought, "Oh, this is creepy." Movie idea.
There's an idea. What about a scary park? A fifth gate that has
I want that.
That's my
I would
whole
go.
idea.
Oh, is it? Okay, well, go. Give us the pitch or the rundown.
Okay, so I was just thinking like what each park is and like what's in it, and like there's never anything that really clashes. Like there's no Fantasyland equivalent at other parks, kind of thing is what I mean. But there's also like there's not like a spooky section. Like I guess arguably you have Haunted Mansion, that little corner, but that's not really like its own sort of self-contained area.
It's just a ride.
Yeah, it's just like the one attraction. Like, what if there was like a whole town around Haunted Mansion, and like that's the ghost town, and that's the house on the hill. That's Vincent Price's house on Haunted Hill. Like
Paris,
that.
though.
That is. What was that?
It's kind of Frontierland in Paris.
Yes.
Yeah.
That,
Like-
it's that sort of like spooky aspect where these things are haunted. Both of these things are haunted by something. I mean, arguably that's kind of the theme of.
So you just mean like a spooky area?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Would
so
you
Black
put-
Cat just walked by us while we're recording this, talking about spooky things. I don't know if
Like-
that's...
That's a sign. That's an omen if ever I saw one.
Like Tower of Terror, go. Maybe this isn't like making a new park, but you're like moving pieces of existing property.
That'd be kind of cool.
Like you could put Tower of
That
Terror
also-
by Haunted Mansion
A
and
watcher
have your
in
own
the woods.
spooky land.
A watcher in the woods dark ride. Move slowly. That would be lovely.
Into the woods.
Does everyone know
No.
Watcher in the Woods?
Watcher in the Woods, the hit Disney film Watcher in the Woods, or something wicked this way comes, based on the
Have you ever seen the original Alien from the End that they cut out of Watcher in the Woods?
Yes.
Yeah.
the scary skeleton monster with the wings? I loved it.
It really looks like the alien from like Alien Encounter. It's
Yes.
A little bit,
incredibly
yeah.
creepy.
Maybe they just reused it. They're like, what do we got in storage? Oh, we got this old thing that was cut out of a movie once. Why didn't we throw it away? Oh, no, maybe.
Put it in that ride.
It's a
We have
different,
two of
it was
those.
a different time for the Disney company. They didn't have as much money. They held on to things more. They're like, look at this. We could just turn this into an animatronic. It'll be great. We'll cover it in mist. Anyway, it was really cool though.
That was another thing. Is like Alien Encounter. Like, I recall hearing from some Imagineer at some point. They said if that was in Hollywood Studios, it would still be there today. But because it was in Magic Kingdom, it was just like it had to be a little bit more kid friendly.
Yeah.
But like now, I'm just picturing like what an area around that would be. Like Excess had the idea of Excess was that they were like stealing power from a manhole in Tomorrowland. That's like a design detail outside of the attraction.
Weird.
And I'm just picturing like what would like a whole Excess area look like? Because that was just meant to be like one chunk of Tomorrowland. So like I would
So
have
what you're-
a horror sci-fi section.
So what you're saying is,
And you could put like
No,
you
go
could
ahead.
put Alien over there too from like Great Movie Ride. You know what I mean?
An
Oh,
Alien Dark Ride?
Fine.
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'm on board for that.
That would be cool. I mean, do they own that now?
And you can put
They
that
own
over there.
Oh,
They're
it's,
actively working on a reboot.
oh my goodness.
Wait, Disney is?
There was
it wouldn't be Disney.
no,
It'll-
it's Disney's talking about it through Fox that
yeah, of course.
there was a story on one of the new, movie sites this week from a very reliable source that they're working on how they want to reboot it. And one of the things I was reading was saying they might go the route of the new Halloween and just ignore everything after Aliens, so they can
No,
bring
that's-
Ripley back.
That's the correct decision.
Gotcha.
That would be the correct decision to do with this franchise. It's a complete mess.
That's
There's no.
As
there's
long
no,
as the cat.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm sure they'll drag Ripley back for something, a cameo at least, or
I
maybe
want
maybe
the
they'll
cat back.
the cat.
what's the cat's
I don't
Jones.
remember.
What was his name?
Jones.
I think it was
apparently.
Jones.
Jones, yes.
Wait, so in Alien 2, did that cat die? Like, Alien
No, the
2?
cat's alive.
No, it was
We're
Alien
sa-
3. Alien 3 is the bad one where
We're
she's
supposed
on
to be
like a
figuring
jail.
fifth grade, so-
Yeah. Okay. So, like, I think I like the idea of just like, let's bring Tower of Terror over here. So let's have like spooky Hollywood land. You could put Superstar Limo.
Ooh. You could just put a Superstar Limo on it. It would still be frightening. It would be equally frightening as any horror ride they could come up with.
I mean, arguably, like
Halloween
Rock and Roller Coaster could be scary.
Universal Halloween Horror Nights. They buy the Superstar Limo from Disney. They find all the remnants. They refit them.
I mean, the cars are in Monsters Inc. right now. Like, it's the same cars.
They steal it directly from
just
the
take
ride.
it right.
They're Universal's so desperate they start stealing. Just the
It's
literal
the same
steal.
animatronics. They just skinned them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
true. Like, they're all there
Mhm.
still. Like, you could just rehab that again. Like, put it back, except put it back the way it was. Oh, can you imagine if they did that for Figment?
That would be lovely.
Like
but
what they have now.
Oh, maybe that could be a park. We could take Epcot's like imagination stuff, spread that, make the Imagination Institute its own.
A whole like imagination
No.
land.
What about like a school?
Oh, and then
What about-
every section is like the like sight and sound and smell lab. Like each one is like a pavilion.
that could
Oh
be
yeah,
fun. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
and one
Or
could be
just-
play. No, I'm kidding. I mean that would be perfect because then you can do like, oh, that's what you do. Okay, so you mentioned like Universal, like they'd have Halloween Horror Nights,
Yeah.
where the park turns spooky, but then they have mazes. Like that, I feel like that's the one thing Disney has not really tackled yet. Oh, sorry, they do it at not Tokyo. Where's the Nightmare Experiment?
There's one in
at?
Tokyo. Oh,
Shanghai.
I think it's Hong Kong does like the scarier stuff.
Yeah, they have the Nightmare Experiment, which is a walk-through horror maze.
Yes.
And like, if you do that, if Figment is going to have his own spooky section, then you do it like sight, sound, smell, and touch. Like those are all different mazes, or something.
The scary five senses. It's like old haunted houses where they would have the boxes that had the
yes,
yeah, and then you just feel it
like Fear
Ooh,
Factor.
bones, yeah.
That's another thing.
So you can
Fear
move-
Factor Live doesn't exist anymore. Just
No.
take that too.
Yeah, why not? Bring it all back. It's due for a revival. That's the hot new stuff. 90s nostalgia, right? Was Fear Factor a 90s show or was that early 2000s? Early 2000s.
I think that
long
was 2000s.
That's a decade ago. We can capitalize on the nostalgia now. Anyway, fifth part.
Tony's
What's
could
it-
be the taste section. We
what's
can make a
that?
Oh,
taste
that'll be-
section, Tony's.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that'd make it
Oh.
I was going to say a bad quick service restaurant.
Yeah.
That already exists. We'll just borrow that.
This tastes microwaved.
What would be like? Okay. Every park has like a main street of sorts.
Yes.
What would it be for like a spooky park? My
A
first
haunted
thought goes,
forest.
Well, I mean, the
Ooh,
best,
yeah.
what makes a good horror movie is the build up, the tension. So I
Yes.
think that has to factor into to a Main Street type experience.
I
Leading
like
up
this
to the
idea.
Do it like Main Street,
What
and instead of the houses getting more modern as you get towards the hub, like the architecture getting newer, it gets more dilapidated.
oh,
Mm.
like it gets more crumbly and creepy. Oh, like you start off on like what appears to be a normal main street, and then it slowly like decays as you walk in.
I like this idea of a forest. I picture like a narrow winding path that's just like a disguised line, and it's just trees, and then it almost is like the village or whatever the haunted place is, and surrounded by a huge forest.
We
That'd
did
be
talk
cool.
about Sleepy Hollow on our Halloween episode.
We did.
That would be a good place to put like, oh, what if the hub was Sleepy Hollow? Like every park sort of does have that hub section with like an iconic sort of centerpiece.
Yes.
That even Hollywood Studios, it's not really a hub and spoke park, but that is sort of the central area of that park, or the thing at the end. It could be like Sleepy Hollow. Is there an iconic thing in Sleepy Hollow other than the bridge?
I mean,
Ichabod
I guess-
Crane's house.
yeah, maybe his house.
Oh, the tree.
I don't know how
Oh,
much.
we already have a tree.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
I'm-
the
Can you just have a
horror-
statue of like?
Urban Sleepy Hollow. That's a different Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's Disney produced. I mean, but it's a good.
Halloween Town is Main Street.
Oh
Yeah.
from Nightmare Before Christmas.
Kid friendly. That's right. Remember, they said in the Imagineering story, the family, what was it? The family something is fundamental. And the notes Walt Disney left for the Imagineers in the episode of Imagineerings.
I don't recall
You
what
don't
it
remember
was.
this,
Was
damn
it the family?
Family model is essential.
Oh,
And so if
okay.
we do Halloween Town, it's nice and
It's
twee
playful,
and
fun.
friendly. Exactly.
Twee?
Twee. It's an English term meaning like sickeningly sweet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that describes most of Disney.
Yeah.
I like Halloween. I like that idea of like, the twisting forest sort of thing, because not Discovery Island, leading into Discovery Island, that's what you have at Animal Kingdom. You don't walk right down into a main street. You
No.
have that sort of like mini sort of exhibit first before you get to the main street. That'd be cool if the main street led to a twisting forest. And then it's like the Halloween Town sort of hub area. Oh, wait, Halloween Town has that forest with all like the tree doors. That could be like the gateway into each like.
Yeah, that's your train station right there.
That's a great little idea. I was thinking of literally Halloween Town, the Disney original, Disney TV original movie or whatever it was.
That's what I was
Starring-
thinking of too.
What's her name? Who's in that?
Don't remember. It was a long
Debbie
time.
Reynolds.
The girl?
Debbie Reynolds. That's
Oh.
it. The girl?
The young girl, the main girl.
Oh, okay. No, yeah.
She's a
I remember Debbie
witch.
Yes. She goes to high school.
Twitches.
They have
Twitches.
Oh my gosh.
No.
And then
Apart
like
from-
your omnibus has the skeleton bus driver from
There you go.
Halloween Town.
That would be cool.
Oh.
A motion simulator that's a bus.
Oh, whoa. That would be a good
Yes.
ride.
It's King Kong. My brain just realized
It is
that.
King Kong.
Oh.
It is King Kong.
I know
Or
it's
Fast
fair.
and Furious.
Or
But,
Fast-
but
no.
instead of that, instead of like the bad 3D screens, you just have like a Soren type screen instead, where you can actually put some money into an attraction. Remember, we're throwing this out with no budget constraints. Unlike Universal, where I feel like they had to build small screens for the sides of the attraction.
Oh, sure.
And the rest of the money they threw into, the top part of an animatronic at the end of the ride. Like, that should be, if anything, like, can you imagine that if it had Soren screens instead?
Oh, to make it look more wide panoramic? Yeah, I can see the stuff curving as I'm going by.
Oh,
on the
right.
bus.
Never mind. That won't work.
Yeah.
Every
I
seat
mean,
has-
it'd be kind of like the new Jurassic Park reskin in California, because they've got the screens on the water ride now, but it doesn't look that good.
It didn't look good in the first place. Sorry. I don't know if anyone actually enjoys that attraction or enjoyed it.
I
I went on a
do.
very poor experience.
Okay, we're getting off track again.
Yeah, we're
We're supposed to be rehabbing Park.
normally we're not live streaming
You
our
are
show.
correct. You are
Normally
correct.
we are editing out all the unnecessary bits.
Yes. But we need to get as much usable content as we can.
I
We
like
need
a
to entertain the
I like the
next
spooky Hollywood section because you can have like a lot of people dressed up as like former movie stars. Like they're the ghosts of them or something.
Like
I don't know if that's
Disney,
appropriate.
just
Morbid.
slightly, yes.
Well, wait.
Lawn Cemetery from LA.
Is there a famous cemetery?
Yeah, I think it's like where Walt's ashes and Marilyn Monroe, like all these
Oh,
like
With all the
celebrities are in
famous
this one cemetery.
Tourist trap, as they call
I
it.
never even considered that LA would have just a bunch of famous people buried there
Listen.
because Hollywood.
Your name doesn't stop making money when you're dead if you're in Hollywood. But what I was going to say was, what about, let's think, what's inevitable, and that's more terrible IP.
Are we already
inevitable.
shoehorning in?
We're gonna
IPs?
jump into shoehorn
Oh.
IPs. It's hot, relevant, and will lead to short-term profits. So-
Alicia.
I have
thing-
one. I have one from chat. Natasha K said Monster House, so you need to have a ride for that in that park.
Oh, that would be fun.
Monster House?
The hit film Monster House.
Oh yeah, that was Fox.
and that was scary. Fox has actually a lot of,
That was a
Scary
Steven Spielberg movie,
unsurprising.
which
I thought
is
that was Robert Zemeckis.
No, it was Robert
thought-
Zemeckis.
Oh yeah.
I remember because I remember like
Maybe he produced it. I think it was Amblin.
It looked like Polar Express with the way the camera like whipped around the
That
house.
is true.
It looked like a 3D motion simulator. That was it.
Yeah, like as a walkthrough
See,
haunted
it's
house.
perfect.
A
It
walkthrough
already
haunted house.
has the vibe.
Yeah, a roller coaster. That's our roller coaster. Monster House. It's a kiddie roller coaster though. It's like it's a slightly like a Seven Dwarfs Mine Train roller coaster. I shouldn't say that.
Wait, so
Like a weaker
is
one.
this a kids park or an adults park?
Both. It has to be both.
It has
Family
to
model
be
is essential.
family is the thing.
I mean, it doesn't have to, but it would be cool if we could make an adult. We could have certain rides that are, like this ride is scarier. Watch out! Don't bring your kids on this if they get scared easily.
That brings up a good question though. Is there adult theme parks?
I don't think so. I think Walt Disney talked about this.
I mean, New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Vegas.
Vegas.
This is definitely like an adult theme park.
to a certain extent,
Or
except instead of getting an emotional thrill from moving at high speeds, you get an emotional thrill by gambling away all your money or waking up somewhere you don't remember.
It's like an adult prototype community of tomorrow. It's like Epcot. That is a big city that essentially is like a giant theme park.
Entertainment. It's an entertainment town, certainly.
Like kids can't go there, right? I've never been to Vegas.
No, they can.
Yeah,
You
you
can
can
In
bring
the
your kids
90s,
there.
they really
I was just there last month.
tried. Like in the 90s, they tried. They had the MGM theme park. And then that kind of closed. But there's a lot of all the casinos seem to have one thing for kids to do, like the Manhattan
Oh.
Express, the High Roller. They all try to do like one kind of gimmick to get the kids in, but it doesn't really work to have like the MGM Grand really tried and it just failed horribly. I mean, it was a horrible theme
When I
park
was-
to begin with. If you've ever been there or seen anything of it, it made Six Flags look good.
Kids like shows. Like when you go to Vegas, kids are at the shows. So
Oh,
maybe
that's
that's your
true.
angle. Like the Cirque du
Kids-
Soleil stuff.
So that
Do kids like cats? Like,
Yes.
the musical by Andrew Lloyd Webber.
I guess they would.
No.
It's a bunch of cats running around. in
No, but the
costumes.
music's for them. Kids don't like slow music.
That's true.
Maybe visually they'd like
But
it.
Cirque du Soleil. Oh, you could have like a whole haunted circus kind of thing.
A musical theme park.
A what?
A musical theme park, or a musical Third Gate.
That's
It's
true.
just dedicated
Third gate. We are only
Fifth Gate.
we are only on
Ninth
spooky.
Gate, whatever.
Like-
we're on.
Let's come back to spooky.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like
There's plenty of.
I
other
also-
options.
I have
sorry,
one
go
from chat too.
Oh yeah, sorry. Give us the chat one.
Chat, a ride for every float on the Main Street Electrical Parade, and the park is called MSE Park.
a Main Street electrical park.
Perfect. We found
Yes.
it, everyone.
What are who can list off all the floats? Who's the electrical parade nerd? Tom.
I'm
We have
getting
the-
out the phone, pulling up Wikipedia.
We have the drum. We have the Celebration of America. We have Elliot. We have the Alice in Wonderland units. There's a Seven Dwarves unit, I think. It's really hard to remember what's Spectro and what's
Peter
MSCP
Pan, I want to
sometimes.
say.
Yeah. Elliot's the
How
one
is
that's
that
and the 1776 units are the ones that stand out the most. But at one point, we went over this when we did the Back to the Future it had a Return to Oz float, which would fit spooky.
I was about to. Okay, first off, we just watched Return to Oz, and that movie is
I
horrifying.
love it. That movie is a masterpiece of visual effects. A lot of which could be really cool if they were recreated.
The first 30 minutes is so slow. I
Yes.
think I remember pausing half an hour, and I'm like, "We are not in Oz yet."
No, it's a very slow, atmospheric movie.
That's what I was gonna say.
It's
Like, what could you make a whole park out of? And honestly, like Wizard of Oz comes to mind.
The
Like, can you like an
great
Oz
movie ride, but
an
it's a
Oz
park.
park?
Oh, I was my brain went immediately to the Great Movie Ride, but it's a park. And I remember that's Hollywood Studios, but Hollywood Studios doesn't have much to do with movies anymore.
I have a joke / idea about that.
Okay.
I'll talk about that. Remind me of Hollywood Studios after.
Gotcha.
But like Oz is like Disney owns it already, and like I feel like there's like
What's the appeal of Oz? Is it just a recognizable name and location?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. That's
like I feel like people...
No, go ahead.
And half of it's public domain.
Yes. Go ahead.
I mean, Oz scares me. Like, I don't like that movie.
There you go.
I would not go to this park. Like anything Wizard of Oz.
Like Lord of the
I
Rings
like Wicked, and that's it.
No.
It's like a universe. It's like, would you want to go to Oz? No, it's terrifying. Like, yeah. Because people always say, "Oh, to live in Lord of the Rings." Would you? There's like scary monsters who can almost kill you all the time.
Well,
no, I would.
Saruman specifically digs them up to fight, but
it's like Hogwarts. Like people want to go to Hogwarts.
I would live there too.
Everyone would. Everyone died. Anyways,
you found it. You found the fifth gate. It's Hogwarts. We figured.
I think the appeal of I think people want to go to Emerald City.
No, I don't think so. I think that works as a cult. That's past its time. I think that would not.
That would be like a Time Warner park, which I think we used to have.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. I don't think there's enough to go around with that.
It would just be big green towers.
Yes, and the other thing is that all the big parks, all the other gates, they're a central idea that pins a bunch of other ideas together.
Yeah.
So that's why Spooky Kingdom works, because we have...
Is that its name?
Sure, we can call it Spooky Kingdom. Spoopy Kingdom.
Spoopy?
There's your Instagram, there's your Instagram hook,
Hashtag Spoopy. Come on down to Spoopy Kingdom. I mean, that's true. They were like in the Imagineering story. They're like, we have the Magic Kingdom. Now we have an Animal Kingdom. And now we have this Spooky Kingdom.
The Mushroom Kingdom. They find, I guess they're already...
Yeah, that's already...
Yeah, that's the thing that's happening. Never mind. What else? What else? What could be another park? I had the idea of a library. Not a library, but like a park dedicated to literature, to encourage youth to read. I guess that was my thought, and then I realized how much of a boring stereotype professor character I sound like.
Do you mean like the Great American Novel Park?
No, just like it would be literature from all over the world, and then you'd have an Indigo in there or something.
I was gonna say
a big fake library.
This Imagineering office, there's a whole row of classic literature here.
Oh yeah.
Treasure Island, Around the World in 80 Days, Jungle Book, Oliver Twist, Time Machine, King Arthur, Wizard of Oz.
How many more of these public domain stories does Disney have to buy, and then pull out of the public domain? You can't do that. That's not how that works.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
You can have the Charles Dickens experience, where they just make you work for slave wages all day.
Oh, that's already
program.
Charles Dickens experience. I don't know why that's so funny.
Now you'll experience the Industrial Revolution firsthand. Watch as human life's value plummets under our control in the name of profit.
The Mark Twain River Adventure. Oh, but we had to close it because it's inappropriate. That's an interesting idea. Like a classic. Isn't this it's not really what Disney's America Park was going to be. That was so based on history, but this is based on classic
literature, or just literature in general. I mean, I guess you can't sell copies of the Motorcycle Diaries there, or the Communist Manifesto.
Oh my gosh!
If you had just a general bookstore, no, people would get upset at Disney for that.
Like a general store that has books, like a general bookstore,
like a Barnes and Nobles or an Indigo.
I don't think Americans know what Indigo is. It's Barnes and Noble.
That's why I had to Noble, yeah.
Color?
Books a million. Books a million.
Yeah.
Color, but it's also a bookstore.
Yes.
No, there was a bookstore called Chapters, and I don't know why nobody went there, but they changed it to Indigo,
I think
which means nothing.
Indigo allowed them to diversify their products into a kitschy section.
Oh yeah, don't you like home garbage, like signs that say love that you can put on your wall? Anyways,
Or coffee makers. Like we don't have.
something that you said, Tyler, when you were talking about the Disney America Park. What if we built that, but it was like great moments of history with Muppets, and like each section of the park was like the Muppets version of it.
Toontown. Like Toontown / Muppets World.
that
They
totally
over-
can be its own park.
Toontown, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean it's a
Mhm.
less than impressive land at the moment, I think. But I mean, it was Mickey's birthday land, and it was only meant to be temporary. And then they're like, "Well, no, let's call it Toontown and keep it for another like 100 years."
What was that?
It was at Disneyland. That's where the
Oh,
Roger
okay.
Rabbit ride is currently,
Oh, fun.
and where they're going to put Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. But yeah, Toontown. I mean, just from what you see in Roger Rabbit, I mean,
all those
like,
IPs,
all
that
those
vast
IPs.
library of IPs to slap on and get people forking out the dollars.
That's what I was thinking. You know, like a park where specifically all of your properties live. Like
All
Epcot
all
already.
the cast members live in bunkers underneath the town. That's a corpocracy.
I mean, in a way, isn't that what Hollywood Studios has become, though? A place to put all of your IPs.
I mean,
Yeah,
yes,
it's becoming that like ride this thing kind of park where it's like, oh yeah, like you used to be able to step into the movie, but now it's just like through the idea of it being a studio, but now it's just, oh yeah, this place exists.
yes. This is a place.
This is not the set of Galaxy's Edge.
This is.
Oh wait, no, that doesn't make sense.
This is.
This
This
isn't
isn't the set of. This isn't the set of a theme park.
This isn't the set of Star Wars. This is just the actual world.
Yes. They've abandoned all pretense of this being a studio, and they're just what connects them. It's that they're movies that we're making right now, which is unfortunate.
That's
Well,
why
it's
my
entertainment.
That's true.
Yeah.
Just vague entertainment.
that's why my idea for Hollywood Studios is make the fifth gate, but just make it the way studios should have been. Do you know what I mean? Like make it studios again.
Make studios, but better.
Just make studio. Studios is no longer studios.
Hollywood Studios 2.
Hollywood Studios
No,
like,
no,
just
no.
put it next door
It's-
like Krusty Krab too.
Like Fox
God.
Studios, like it used to be MGM, so now it's just Fox Studios.
Yeah.
And then they still have Hollywood Studios.
They did it.
I mean, I think the plan is just
We did it.
make it all Star Wars.
Yes, or eventually get Marvel in there too, which is possibly the other option for a cynical corporate cash grab. Fifth gate.
Honestly,
Marvel
they
land.
should just be their own thing.
I mean,
I think they really bunged up just making the hotel and Galaxy's Edge and then maybe a few more attractions. Because even if just Rise of the Resistance and Falcon were everything that was in that park, people would probably have still paid a full price ticket. I guess arguably Studios doesn't have much to offer at the moment anyways, other than Galaxy's Edge. So the idea of just making Star Wars its own park, like that, like I think we've talked about this on like Park Center and around the Hub and every other show, but just the logic of people wanted to go to Dagobah, or they wanted to like go in the Death Star, they wanted to go to Jabba's palace, like, right? Isn't like that's what they wanted and what we got.
But it doesn't. I'm as big a Star Wars fan as anybody, but that just doesn't work. Like, oh, I'm on Dagobah. What's there to do? It's a swamp. Oh, wait, you didn't have to actually build anything in Florida because that's what Dagobah was. Just take them out anywhere else on property.
that'll be a cheap, efficient way of doing it. They'll just have a fake Yoda puppet somewhere out there, and they just There's no fence. It's just a gate that leads into the swamps. And you're like, welcome to Dagobah.
Baby.
I just pictured Jungle
Yoda.
Cruise in Dagobah. Like it's a guide showing you all the Star Wars creatures instead, and then making puns off of those. I'm trying to think of a Star Wars creature. I can't even.
Well,
That's a Wampa.
Rancor.
that's one. We got one.
I can't think of any other
On
puns.
a voodoo, because that's what Darth Vader's helmet is polished with voodoo hide.
Yes. Well, I think you're right. I mean, just
Okay,
or I think you're right, Ron. It's just like, yeah, you can make those areas, but it would just be like a walkthrough. Like they'd actually just be like mini walkthrough attractions, like a maze or something. Like it wouldn't even be. I mean, why would there be a swamp ride? Did Yoda build a ride for tourists? Like the logic of that. Like with Pandora, we have this. Like we have the ACE initiative. The logic of why are we going on this ride, which is something I like to think about all the time, is why am I going on this thing?
We're getting away from the main topic of this, which is what would the fifth gate be?
Yeah. Okay. So,
Well, since we were talking about the sci-fi franchises, that was my ideas. Find some of these kind of weird sci-fi worlds, like take I think it's Mysterious Island in Tokyo Disney Sea, and make a whole bunch of those. Island on Top of the World, Disney's Atlantis, Treasure Planet. Like, build all these kind of things as lands.
Weird science stuff. I like that. Ooh, what could the center of that park be?
because technically we have this Tomorrowland thing, but it's not really sci-fi.
Yes.
It's Monsters Inc. and Toy Story.
Yeah, but no, but like a sci-fi park, not necessarily Tomorrowland.
Oh yeah,
future,
that's
but
what I'm saying. Is like
science.
you
fiction.
could still make that park and it wouldn't clash with Tomorrowland.
No, well,
I
because
would have Space Mountain Mission 3.
Mission 3.
I'd have like a Rise of the Resistance level attraction, but Space Mountain, where there's a pre-show, there's a thing you get into,
We
and
got
then that
you.
takes you to this thing.
Disney's like, we got you. We just made Space Mountain again, but we made it different and slightly better.
We
Gotcha.
added.
Give us your
more-
money.
we added-
Give us your money to ride Space Mountain again. A different Space Mountain.
I'm
Slightly-
all
Go ahead.
for like your idea, Ron, like Atlantis and like Treasure Planet and like
Yes.
do they have Road to El Dorado now? Like was that Fox? Do we have
that was
that
Dream-
now?
That was DreamWorks.
That was
Unless
DreamWorks.
No, DreamWorks is Warner Bros.
Universal. Usually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Universal
Yeah,
Studios.
You could take like the new Jungle Cruise franchise that they're trying to build, kind of fits that mysterious jungle action stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
What other franchise? What? Well, there's a good question. What other profitable franchises does Disney have?
The Black Hole.
Black.
Are we
Okay,
still on? We're still on sci-fi, right?
I guess you could do the black hole. I mean, that would be a good little fun learning thing. Here's what a black hole is. Here's how it works. You could have that emotion simulator where you almost get pulled into a black hole in a spaceship. Star Tours. You use you do Star Tours, but it's a black hole. Or Mission Space.
I mean, Atlantis, like you said, Atlantis could totally be its own section of a park.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, and all the like the glowing stone. That would be great effects for them.
Yeah.
To do.
Like compared to Wizard of Oz, like people, I guess, don't really care about walking around Emerald City. I think people would want to walk around Atlantis.
Yes.
I
think
want
that-
Atlantis to be real. So
Yeah. There you go.
You got a boat ride, like a log flume style attraction. You could easily do some kind of trackless thing.
You can have
like
a giant animatronic monster somewhere, because we have the Leviathan and the Kraken.
or even like a journey to the center of the earth kind of. I mean, that's where Atlantis is, right? It's like under the earth.
No, it's underwater. Yeah, it was supposedly a city that sank. But
It was.
In the Atlantis movie, it's turned out it's underground and protected by a sphere, like in the Missing Link.
Yes.
It's a secret missing civilization.
I was
With
gonna,
glowing
you could
magic
even
stone.
pull from the sequel. You
Yeah.
could pull. I liked the sequel where it had like all the different monsters and stuff.
Well, that was the whole thing that brought them back.
we've done a Back to the Future on Fire Mountain, and I think that ride would still be innovative and amazing today. Like that was going to be an Atlantis themed attraction. It was going to be a suspended coaster where the seats would then rotate around and flip so you would be lying on your back or gliding forward. Like it was going to be launched. Like that idea sounds fantastic, and that was going to be Atlantis themed, right? Because that's what I want to go on. Out of
I don't
anything.
know.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know if it's themed to the Disney film Atlantis and Atlantis 2: Milo's Return, but certainly it is not out of the scope of possibility.
What if we just have a park of mountains?
Just different mountains.
Just
Are you
mountains.
Magic Kingdom
It's a
is?
Far
Wait,
Cry
what
now.
about like Seven Wonders of? What about the Seven Wonders of the
Oh!
world?
That's a
There you
great
go.
idea.
More tourism?
Yeah.
Look how Epcot's doing.
You could call it Wonderland. Nope, can't call it that.
Nope.
Like an
Wonder-
expanded world showcase.
Exactly.
World
Mhm.
Showcase 2. I mean, that could also just be.
What
its
if, what
own
if,
park.
yeah, what if
Yeah.
we just picked up World Showcase and just pulled it out of Epcot? And
What are the 7 wonders of the world? Niagara Falls,
I don't know.
Pisa.
Well, there's the natural world, there's the modern world, there's the ancient world. There's like several sets of 7 wonders of the world.
I'm so
Like
sorry. I let
Grand
us down this
Canyon and
rabbit hole.
Niagara Falls, but then you have the Hanging Towers of Babylon and the Colossus of Rhodes. Yeah,
Taj
there's
Mahal.
different sets of them, so you could.
it'll be like the
I
7
don't
wonders
know.
of the world. It's just all the Disney parks again. they just build them all again, just stuck together.
It's like, oh, okay.
The 7 wonders.
Well-
It's feeds into the propaganda.
Like here's another like Splash Mountain. Here's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a
exactly.
spaceship Earth, and it's all in the same
Exactly.
park.
And they're just like, it's
This-
the 7 wonders of the world of the modern age.
That actually kind of feeds into the idea I had. And it's one apparently I thought of as a little kid, and my parents were so enraptured with it. They're like, oh, that would be great. It's just a park of old rides. It's the park of all the defunct rides. They're all back. It is like the end of Avengers Endgame. They're all walking through that portal, and all of a sudden, they're all back. Yep.
Almost like a land of
Defunct-
defunct rides. Like a
I think-
defunct land.
Defunct
if you will.
attractions. But think about it. The nostalgia factor will bring in older folks. They'll want to bring their kids. You're going to have all the folks who have been complaining that everything's gone downhill. Well, suddenly everything you love is back. Is it as good as you remember?
Yes, because we've remade it completely different. That's what they do. They'd update all the effects.
So it'd be like
Yeah.
if you built Horizons, but if you built it now,
exactly.
with the technology now.
Except wasn't Horizon just like a lobby conference room or something? Am I thinking of something
What?
else? What am I thinking of?
Horizons was a very elaborate dark ride.
Oh,
What is,
It had a freaking IMAX screen in there.
It had 2
I'm sorry,
OmniMax
Omnimax.
screens.
No,
Yeah,
Tom.
it was a very involved ride.
We've certainly watched.
What are
like,
you
a ride-
thinking of?
What, yeah, what
I
is-
guess I was just thinking maybe
what is lobby
Lobby
conference?
count.
I don't know. I remember in Epcot there was like a. I don't remember. Listen.
No, take your time.
I think this is become a new episode. We're trying to remember, trying to reconstruct what Thomas remembers.
Are you trying to
We
think
have
of
a
like,
lobby.
Where did we get? Maybe no, not Interventions. Oh, no, not Interventions. What's the? We got ciders there. I don't remember during the Epcot Food and Wine.
You got ciders.
Is he thinking
The
Odyssey?
Canada Pavilion? They had
Oh,
a
the
cider bar.
Odyssey.
Odyssey.
I think it's the Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Horizons and Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yep, same thing.
Sometimes I just hear names
Listen.
and I'm like, did I do that? I don't
Odyssey,
remember
Horizons, they're both the same thing.
You know, vaguely worded
Odyssey.
things.
Lobby
Horizons.
conference room. You mean because it had like
that.
a?
It just looked like a lobby that they like dressed up with a few.
That's
stores.
what it was Garden Terrace at that time.
Yeah,
because it was
exactly.
part of the Food and Wine.
Like I can picture them closing that off and using it as a conference room for something. I don't know.
sorry, Garden.
I mean,
Garden.
it's not too far off.
Yeah.
It's now a festival center thing, so.
Yeah.
I pulled us way off track. We were talking about something interesting.
What would you have there? You'd have just like Captain EO, Heimlich.
Yeah,
Heimlich choo-choo train from Buzz Lightyear.
Heimlich!
But I would like organize it by the decades and like really feed into that history and nostalgia. Like there's 80s
So
way.
Graveyard.
This goes into a comment that we got from chat. It said, a park where you travel through each of the decades with rides, like from when Walt was alive, like the steamboat ride, all the way to like a different area for each decade. There you go, Matt.
Yeah.
We bring
Maybe
Walt
they
back to life.
And like, think of all the different
It's like-
dining options you could have.
That's true.
I mean, like the 50s, you've got like
Sorry, we
the
didn't.
Walt
Yellow
Disney
mold
story.
and-
But like an
I mean, that-
animatronic Walt, that doesn't exist.
Yeah. That's why they're trying to build robots.
That's
that can do
only
things.
because they haven't been brave enough to do it.
Those are early experiments.
That's true. They haven't like, I don't think anyone has suggested it because it's like the idea of doing that is probably like we can't, because if we screw up,
Sacrilegious.
we have a Walt figure that's going like lifting out. Like nobody wants to see that.
I could. We've seen. You remember that when Poseidon was just like vibrating? I just picture like Walt doing that. Welcome to my office.
Oh, you mean King Triton?
Yeah.
In the,
The Little Mermaid, right? And he just starts shaking up and down.
I love in
Oh God,
We could put that in the scary ride.
there's the Carousel of Progress, and the father figure just like dabs and it phrases like that. There's that video is fantastic. He's just like, boy, I sure.
yeah,
Just like-
you missed my. We did a whole set last night based on like rides that have gone wrong when we've been on them, and mine was Carousel of Progress, where like the whole ride is normal except you get to the 1920s and the father has his like wrist like bent at a really strange angle, no sound coming from him. You literally get no sound. Like the background music's playing, but you don't hear him talk. And the first thing you hear is Uncle Orville from the bathroom going, "No privacy at all around here." No
Wait,
context.
did you just sit in silence while this happened?
Like his mouth is moving, but no sound's coming.
That
Oh my
sounds
God.
both
This
horrifying and hilarious.
This belongs in the spooky park.
Yeah, I was about to say that. The
Yes.
carousel of
I have no mouth, and yet I must scream the ride.
The weirdest one was I was closing up Mansion one night, and the audio room for Mansion is the same as the audio room for Small World, and they were doing some sort of test. So I'm walking through Mansion, and all of a sudden, the Small World music starts playing over the sound system as you're walking through the scene.
That's even
That's
thanks.
about as creepy as you could get.
No
What about
thanks.
spooky versions of existing rides, like
Ooh.
a scary version of Small World.
Oh,
It's a
I mean, that's what-
stabby world after all.
Like Mary Blair
we all
versions
make
of the
Blair
world's
slaves.
atrocities.
I was going to say.
I just mean like they're all zombies or something, but I like
It's a small World War Z.
Just like
Or maybe-
World War
Yes,
Z.
World War Z.
Just-
Mary
Maybe all you
style.
have to do is reframe the song. It's like, we are all one. We are all one.
It's like,
Like
spray
there's
paint.
Brains, brains.
truly
And
as the
that's like-
Sherman Brothers intended.
You can change it
song.
out too. Like it's pretty easy. You just record a new song.
Yeah, there you go. Or you just like
Get
hit
the
slow
Sherman
motion
Brothers
on
on
the. You hit like 1/4 speed on the regular stuff, and it's scary because it's slowed down. After all, on all the animatronics at regular speed, and you can hear them like clicking.
It's-
That would be fun.
It's
Finally,
even
we found the
easier than
Howard
that. You just drop it into a minor key.
There you
Mm.
go.
Ron, I have a question. There's those terrible pop-up heads on Haunted Mansion. Were those like always there? Because I remember seeing it in the Imagineering story where they were like testing like an old version of it.
Those have been there as long as I can remember, and I think they were original. And there used to be some in the attic scene as well.
I
I
remember
remember getting
that.
stuck on it as a kid next to one, and it just kept popping up as it
Yeah.
was sitting there for like 15 minutes before they got the ride moving again. I almost
Before
punched
the
it.
whole like beating heart bride refurb, right? Like the current
Yeah,
attic.
there was one right when you come into the attic on the right-hand side before you take the turn towards the bride.
Mm-hmm.
I guess even Walt Disney had to rely on jump scares.
That was the thing I was going to say. Like, I mean, Haunted Mansion is creepy. I don't think it's scary, but like, how would you make a scary version of Haunted Mansion? Like, if you how
Live
would you make it
actors.
scary?
Like
Oh, that's true.
live actors,
comedy.
you gotta
You'd
throw
have
the
You walk in,
Go
you
ahead.
get the chairs from Alien Encounter, they strap you in, and then they show you the Eddie Murphy movie over and over and over
There
again.
you go.
Oh, that's
Horrifying.
that's too cruel.
Wallace Shawn! Wallace Shawn!
Just have
You're
Terrence
right, that-
Stamp slowly walking towards you down the middle of a hall, and you can't move. Like that would be a horror ride on its own.
Tyler, this
That-
goes back to what we were talking about before. You have Captain Gore in there. You
Yeah.
do it live actor. That'd be creepy.
Like do the like an actual haunted walkthrough the way Walt originally like suggested it.
I mean, it could still be like a ride through, but with actual actors on it.
Yeah, like
You
they
could
did for
walk
Pirates.
through it too.
Well, I mean, because
The only
Pirates
person
is
that's
just a
scary
guy
for
on
is the
a bridge,
OSHA
like, "Hey,
attorneys.
The OSHA rules.
what was that?
Yeah. The only person that's scary for is the OSHA attorneys.
Oh,
That's
yeah, you got a ton of violations. We got books floating through the air over here, and you got ghosts exposed to the
Floating
captain's-
candle, that is unprotected fire.
Why?
Floating candelabra.
That could be a whole thing. It's
And
just
excuse me,
OSHA.
is that psychic? Is that medium union?
An entire park for smokers. So now they're
Oh
No.
no!
so now they're like no smoking in any of the parks, but we're gonna build a park that's specifically for people to smoke in.
And there's a casino
You have
there.
Cigar Land, Vape Land.
Oh, God.
All aboard the Great Vape Coaster.
Oh,
just like-
and I've got it. And I've got the first special.
Sorry.
I've got the first special event, Nicotine Night.
Oh.
Get your kids addicted to cigarettes before they're legal.
Jeez. I was gonna say like a vape ride would be like not. I said Mission Space. I didn't mean that, but now
No.
I'm trying to think how would that apply. No, Space Mountain Mission 2, where it's
I-
like the giant blast
When
of
you-
smoke, but that's the ride.
I was gonna say, when you say Mission
You
Space,
just
I just
sit
think
in the
there-
smoke for a while.
Like, yeah, except there's just like a big vape pen or something that you come out of and it blows smoke out of it when you go out of it. But yeah.
Wait, what's that? What's the ride where you shrink down and you're microscopic?
Honey, I Shrunk the
Honey, I
Audience.
Shrunk the
Going into
Audience.
inner space.
Oh,
I like how
no,
I
no,
knew
no!
immediately
Adventures
that was-
through Inner Vape.
Oh, there you go.
And the parade, there's like one float, and it's the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland just smoking the hookah.
Oh.
Blows at everybody.
All
It's
the
like that
performers are just coughing and gasping for air as they're dancing.
Oh, and the Kiss Goodnight is just a recording of Walt's coughing.
The one time Walt was ever caught coughing on
How
camera,
did we get here?
we went through the fifth gate.
Welcome to the overnight show, my friend.
This is the. Isn't there a movie called like The Fifth Gate?
No, there's a movie called The Ninth. There may very well be a film called The Fifth Gate, but the one I know
There's a
is
movie called
The
there's a horror movie called The Gate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
a horror movie called The Gate. Ironically enough, it's what is like to be called a gateway horror, like horror for younger people, which would be cool.
Could you make Hell a theme park,
Um,
like as Dante described it? Like
oh,
He
Dante's
already-
Oh,
Inferno.
already
like
drew 'em.
the circles, like the 9 layers,
what?
Sorry.
like the 9 layers, like gluttony. Like you just go through, like it's where all the restaurants are.
Hey kids, why don't you join me in the woods of suicide? Oh god.
Oh my god!
Isn't there a city in the middle called Diz?
Those are outside.
What?
Of
Oh no!
Let's go. Let's go.
City in the middle.
Where we can see the hell for traitors. That's like that's like Dante's Inferno.
Oh no!
What was that? Sorry, I interrupted. I just
The
pictured
city in the middle is called Diz, D-I-S.
I like it.
What? Oh,
The city in the middle of hell in Inferno is DIS.
that's
Dis,
true. I
or
did
dis.
look that up.
It is
That was all
the
research
city
for
of
this.
Dis.
What about
What?
you're a huge fan of Lovecraft?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say earlier, it's a small world, but instead of it's a small world Mary Blair style, it's a small world as in we are cosmically speaking very, very small, and it's a ride about existential dread. And
Is Cthulhu gonna be in it, or
that would be cool. It would have to be like bits and pieces of Cthulhu. Like you're in like you're still in the boat, but then like something goes by your boat, like a big tentacle or just like a big something, and then maybe like a video screen that has lightning flash. Like there'd be physical props around you, but there'd be a lightning flash, and Cthulhu would just be gigantic, big Soren screen. That would be cool.
I'm on board for that.
That would be great. I would love a Cthulhu.
boat with
It's never gonna happen.
with like a Soren screen. That would be cool.
Yeah, just to give it a sense of scale. Like you're going towards it, so that way on a singular thing. So that way it doesn't script the sightlines, but it gives you a nice sense of scale. And then maybe we have some smaller animatronic stuff that's impressive. That would be it. Maybe like an animatronic Lovecraft who like turns around and says like the most merciful thing in the world. I think. Although I think that would. Lovecraft's too controversial.
People be like, "Mommy, who's that?"
Who's that?
I know, but that would make a good ride in the literary park. Like have a horror section. You've got Poe. You've got Edgar Allan Poe, Lovecraft, Agatha Christie.
I'm picturing like Journey into Imagination, but it's a bunch of different authors. Like instead of having different genres, you just have different authors. Hello, I'm H.P. Lovecraft. I'm from Massachusetts, and then you go to the next one. It's Ernest Hemingway or
Great
so on.
moments with H.P. Lovecraft.
Great moments in history with Lovecraft. The problem is he'd bring a racist
Great moments with Hemingway. The first 18 plus animatronic show.
Who's that? Who's the? Was it Charles Dickens? Who am I thinking of?
Oscar Wilde.
Oscar Wilde. That was it.
Oscar
That would be an uncomfortable part of the park. I had to whisper something because it was very inappropriate.
Listen,
anyways,
I'm not going to say anything. I'm not.
Oscar Wilde, like
I'm not going to.
Like a piano bar where you can meet and greet him.
That would be
That
great.
would be fun.
Jelly Rolls. It's Oscar Wilde.
Don't say Jelly Rolls. Pete will show up. If you say
He will.
Jelly Rolls,
Pete just shows up.
What though? I heard.
Did someone say Jelly Rolls?
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice will show up.
I'm very proud of that. Can I just say really quickly? I don't think I ever said this, and whatever. We'll edit this out. Somebody after Reflections happened, they were or not reflect. Yeah, after we watched Illuminations at Stage 89, somebody said, "Hey, we're all going to Jelly Rolls. You want to come?" And I'm like, "Jelly Rolls? What is that?" They're like, "It's a dueling piano bar." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So it's pianos, and I picture like the Main Street piano, and I'm like, "Oh, so it's like a Dapper Dance kind of thing." And Jelly Rolls, that sounds like donuts. So it must be like a bake shop with pianos in it. And I'm like, that's what a Jelly Roll is, right? And then we get there, and I'm like, wow, this is not at all what I was expecting.
It's amazing.
It is.
Oh, I was just picturing like a soda shop with pianos and a couple guys like do. Not what it was.
It's a thrill-a-minute ride where Tom gets too drunk and says horrible things.
Tom Corliss and just starts saying, "I love you, man," or whatever.
I said
whatever he said to her.
I said, man, you're the only thing that stands between us and the Disney corpocracy, and I respect it.
I remember Tom looking over at me and he was like, "I'm just happy to be here," and I was like, "I'm happy you're here too."
That sounds about right.
I've heard nothing about that night because he doesn't remember.
I don't remember most of it except that I said a few things that maybe I shouldn't have, but we were all drunk, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
Or it doesn't matter that much.
Of course not.
Some things it doesn't matter.
Anyways,
let's get back to our rehabbing of the park.
Yes.
A park to take over. You know how successful Epcot has been with all the drinking. Speaking of drinking, so we
wine park.
A park, not just wine.
Winey.
Wine, beer, vodka? Why? There we go. We already have a mascot.
Wait, we've gone from the smoking park to the drinking park.
Are there any other?
Let's be honest. We've hit 2 out of 3.
Viceland.
Yeah, we've hit
Viceland, I like
2
that.
out of 3. Good lord!
Dude,
Smoking,
Like an all vice park.
eating.
Oh my
sushi
gosh,
all-
back to
that's
Vegas again.
that's the outskirts of the hell park. It's a park of
Yeah.
sin.
There we go.
An adult park.
Pleasure
The
Island.
center
from
is hell.
Picnicle.
It's Pleasure Island from Picnicoli or whatever that's called. It's Pinocchio.
Picnic.
But
Hey.
there was somebody
I
from
love
the VHS.
Picnicoli with his pal Tepgetto.
It's not worth it.
Oh my god.
Lori Hickman from YouTube chat says Pleasure Island from Pinocchio can be its own land in the park.
Yeah.
Not wrong.
I was gonna say, like, you could just they already tried to make Pleasure Island. Obviously, that was at Disney Springs, but or Downtown Disney rather. But that could, yeah, if we're making a park where just like debauchery reigns, then it could just be the whole thing.
Sandals, the theme park.
It's like a sandals resort.
OBT.
Oh, sorry, no,
OBT.
hedonism was the adult resort. It was hedonism.
That's it.
Hedonism land. Sorry, we're in Florida. Hedonism world. My bad.
All hedonism.
It was such a dumb joke.
What's an aspect?
You gotta have. We mentioned the smoking caterpillar. We just gotta have like Alice in Wonderland, but it's just like one big drug trip.
Well, that could also go into the literary park. You could have a.
That's true. You could have a
Wonderland
That's
section.
true.
You could have a proper Alice in Wonderland section, and then you have a drug-fueled Alice in Wonderland section at the other park. We're now creating a 6 gate. One is going to be family friendly.
Forget parks. We're making a resort here, folks.
Yeah, we're building a park to rival Disney World. It might even rival Disneyland. Logoland. That's the theme park. It's just a bunch of dogs.
Is there anything?
we have animal parks, but we don't have like a pet park. Like there's no cats.
The secret life of Pets Land.
The secret park of
The
pets.
talking animal. Disney made all those.
They are
talking
making. They're making a Secret Life of Pets ride in Japan in Universal. So.
Hell would that even be?
It would be me losing my faith in humanity even more.
Okay, that's fair.
But I like Disney
Really?
makes all those terrible animal movies like a Firehouse Dog.
Oh my god!
And
you mean like Beverly Hills Chihuahua?
Yeah. They'd have a park
Air
dedicated to that. Just pet
Oh,
animals.
We can have the sports buddies, air buddies, space
Yes.
buddies.
The park devoted
Snow
to
buddies.
And
They could make
that's just the recent stuff. That animal movies go way back with Disney.
The Shaggy
Yeah,
Dog.
I mean, the Shaggy Dog, the Cat from Outer Space, Greyfriars Bobby.
All of these are available on Disney Plus right now.
We are not
These are all
sponsored,
what I'm
but
planning for the
FYI.
movie club.
that. In fact, Disney does
We're
not
not
like
sponsored, but
they will.
we're not sponsored by Disney. But look, we're a website full of Disney fans. Of course, we're going to talk about Disney Plus.
Yes.
that brings to
Disney
mind.
Plus the land.
What if it's just all the obscure Disney movies?
Obscure D-list land.
The park
The
that wore
fir-
tennis shoes.
D plus. D
The
plus.
first park exclusively for D23 members. Like that's it. Because your love is so deep, you know this obscure stuff. We can build a Treasure of Matacumbe stunt show. Why not?
I'd watch that if that. You know what? That trailer looks so boring for that movie. That like if you go to like the details and it's like watch a clip, and I was like, oh, they're just like in a boat. This is such a.
I've
boring
actually
movie.
seen that movie, and to be fair, the only thing I remember is the opening song. It is a really
Oh, no.
that opening song, as the kids say, is a banger. It is. It is a really good opening song.
I'm gonna hold
Just
you
like
to
watch
that.
the first.
No.
Okay,
How about there's a sequel to Old Yeller on there?
Savage
you
Sam.
Do you love
Yeah.
Pollyanna?
Like, the dog dies. Let's make another.
I did the play for Pollyanna.
Oh, Pollyanna. Sorry, not Pollyann.
I did the play for that.
Well, what happens in
Polyamory?
that?
What?
It'd be a ride.
Okay.
What
What-
could be a ride?
In
I
the-
mean,
Disney.
I mean, the black.
Disney's like, oh, sorry.
No, go
Go.
ahead.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Like that black hole ride. That you want love of obscure Disney stuff. The black hole.
Perfect. We must go where no man has gone to before.
I just remember
In
the
black
robot.
hole. I don't remember anything except that line because it was in a one song. But I was going to say, the next Disney park, to save on money. We know how much Disney loves projections these days because they're nice and costly free. So the new park, Disney projects directly into your brain.
Oh,
They attach like wires, nodes, and like an altered carbon.
the void a park?
Yeah, kind of. They hook you up to a computer, and then you go to a
There's
virtual,
no park. This is the
and they just
park.
pump your body full of endorphins to make it
It
feel
just
like
sounds
you're
like
there.
you're talking about the Matrix.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
Disney builds the Matrix, but it's a park.
And while you're in there, they
Oh, no.
use you as a battery.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
Tom, this is going down a road I'm not comfortable with. I don't want to go to this
I
park.
think we're like 3 minutes from Bob Iger selling your organs.
Yeah.
But
Bob
But you
Chapek
get that
actually uses
sweet,
you.
sweet Disney juice.
that just
That's in the fine print on your ticket. It says
That's
if
just-
you die in the park, we harvest your organs.
you
and
die
sell
in
them.
real life.
If you die in the park, you die in real life.
It sounds like
So
sounds
thank
like
you
they're
to
like-
coming. Thank you for coming to tonight's episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bob Chapek uses your skin to like go to the.
oh my-
Oh,
They say
Like
it's
that
like
episode of Doctor Who, the machine repairs itself. That's how
Yes.
Skynet. No, I think because
what Doctor
I
Who
was-
episode is this?
the one with the clockwork robots,
Oh, right.
and
Yeah.
they start using the crew to
Oh,
fix
yeah.
the ship.
Yeah.
Mary brain.
You,
Good episode.
you're describing Bob
Dr. Who
Iger
Land.
taking your organs, and I'm like, is this park just like a bathtub full of ice in a motel room?
Ah,
What is it?
first part. They,
we have
they had-
gone completely off the rails.
Welcome
that's
to
what we
Ryan
promised
Rehab.
They have like
I'm still trying to figure out what Sylvia Plath ride would be in the literary park.
Oh, what one?
a fast ride.
Oh,
Alan Quartermain's Mine
No,
Cart ride.
it's just a bunch of short stories.
No. The
Okay,
Plath
okay.
and the Furious Supercharged.
What?
The Plath and the Furious Supercharged.
I'm curious. I
Is
don't
it-
know if I get
is
that
it-
joke.
Isn't literature enough of a roller coaster that we? No.
We can have that. We can finally get the Phantom of the Opera ride that we deserve.
Oh my God, Tom!
Right. Yes.
It's
Our
just
other-
a boat ride. Like Small World, there's nothing like scary. It's just like pages, and you just read
Oh,
as you go through.
Oh, there's already a boat in it.
yeah.
That works perfectly.
He was saying that it's a boat ride, but it's just the pages of
Oh,
book
yeah,
stuck
I heard
along the
this.
wall. And you read
Yes,
it. And,
So
'Cause
we've
it's
gone
already
from
like
a
a-
theme park
it's an
to
emotional
a
roller
library.
and then,
An emotional, the
That would also-
emotional roller
that would
coaster.
also be good for the queue. You have the book pages in the queue, and then as people go along the queue, oh yeah, and because the queue lines are so long, you have time to read a book.
Does anyone else think Pixar should just be its own park?
That could, I mean, you could get away with that. You could absolutely.
What should be its own park?
All
Pixar.
the Pixar. I mean, when you think about it,
Oh.
Magic
Yeah.
Kingdom is there's only 2 Pixar things in Magic Kingdom, and they are both misplaced in Tomorrowland. And there's, am I wrong? There's nothing else Pixar at Magic Kingdom.
I think you're.
You
Right,
got
that's
Toy
statement.
Story and Monsters Inc. right next to each other.
Mhm.
That's it, right?
hmm
I'm like trying to think. Well, I mean, there's no Toy Story marionette show.
Thank God.
That's-
You're all welcome, by the way.
Country Bears the park.
I'd go to a Country Bear park.
It's just, but it's
It's
the extended family. It's it's a town of bears.
Oh God,
live there.
This was
And
a
it's
sketch on
circumference.
Saturday Night Live. It was called Bear City.
Oh well, there you go.
it's like the Holy Land experience,
But it's country
but there's 3 Country Bear shows, and in between you go out and you learn about the history of the Country Bears.
I'm just imagining like the Bible, but done with the country.
That's what I was thinking. Well, howdy. Welcome. Today we're going to learn about the saving words of Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that, Mr. Disney.
I have so many jokes, but I don't think I should say them.
No, probably not. Country Bear Split Apart. That's. That's.
Anyways, yeah. See, that's why I didn't say it out loud.
Are you going for the other type of bear?
Oh no, that would be good too.
No,
though.
but LGBT land.
A gay park. Yeah.
Okay, we can honestly say there's not enough gay things at Disney World.
The gayest thing we did at Disney was quote Mamma
Wait,
Mia with someone.
Ron was thinking hard about that. Are you
Guyland.
I was just thinking besides most of the entertainment cast members I ever worked with, but
Oh,
that was about it.
I think there's like Tumblr posts that are like, yeah,
Won't that
I was once on a tour and saw
Would that
Aladdin and Peter Pan making out. Like the cast members, oh my gosh, we're in like a dressing room with the door open. I think
That's
it's
funny.
what would I mean? We don't even have gay Disney characters.
It would be
to be
Queendom.
fair. That's true.
The Magic Queendom.
Oh wait, no, they own Fox now, so it would be the castle would be Frankenfurter's
Oh,
Castle from Rocky Horror.
Yes.
Because he's
Yes.
I think we've
And
made
you
this
just do
joke.
the time warp over and over again.
You would have 3 times a day. You would have like a shortened version of Rocky Horror. You'd have like the
Yeah.
Nemo show, but for Rocky Horror, where it's
Oh
the
yeah.
entire show
Oh my
condensed down
gosh.
into beautiful scenes. They shorten the song.
Well, actually,
Queen Talk with Frankenfurter.
I mean, it would go against everything the Rocky Horror. Picture
Everybody
Show
say, Turtle Talk with Crush, but it's with just Tim Curry.
They have a bunch inside. They have a bunch of
Universal.
Go ahead.
Universal used to do this really cool thing on City Walk during like the Halloween Horror Nights times where they would do like a live reenactment of Rocky Horror, but it was audience participation. And now I'm not sure if they can do that anymore, but they could probably do it at Disney now. It was super rated R, but it was amazing.
That would be the only.
Yeah,
Are you
audience-
talking at the Lowe's
Yes, they do
or
those
like
all
in general?
Like,
It
there's,
was
there's
at,
one that does it in the city in New York City that does it once a month.
What else?
Yeah, they did
think
it
so.
in the movie
Drag-
theater.
Yeah,
There could.
Yeah,
Like,
a lot of
Halloween
the
Horror
people I
Nights,
worked
they
with
did
at
a
Earthquake
stage
were in
show
the cast
version
there.
of it.
the
Mm.
drag
For a couple-
park. So it's just like
RuPaul's
No, not
drag part.
You have like
The Tomorrowland Drag Race?
Oh,
Like that's the ride. That's their roller coaster
No.
right there.
you know how American Idol experience used to just pull apart guests, film them, and then do a show. You do that.
it's
with
RuPaul.
Drag Race. You just pull a random person, you put them in drag, and then they do a lip sync.
That's it.
That'd
I
be
would
amazing.
Heck out of that. How is that not an actual thing? Like
That'd be
for
amazing.
now, how is that not just an actual thing? I guess we have drag, but still.
I was going to say. I think that just happens at drag shows. I don't know. I haven't been to any of our indie drag shows.
That's just
I
like
should-
a game in Drag Race. But anyways,
What else?
what if we just have a
You can have
park?
the Wizard of Oz in there as well.
Oh yeah, that's true. Gay people love Wizard of Oz. What if we have a park where you just shove all the Disney coasters? Oh wait,
Just like roller coaster.
sorry, that's Cedar Point.
Disney's
Oh.
adrenaline overload.
Oh my god. Okay, wait. Let's roll with this for a second. Adrenaline Park. It's just like the most thrilling attractions that Disney can't make.
It's like Disney Extreme.
Disney
You wanna-
XD.
Disney.
Yeah, Disney XD the park.
Disney's 90s park. It would just like imagine a park where everything is 90s themed.
Yeah.
Because remember in the 90s, everything was like, oh yeah, Super Mario,
Do you
like,
remember?
like extreme sports.
Oh no, that wasn't Disney.
Super table
Different color
tennis.
costumes
Right.
for the cast members.
They sell
everyone's
Surge.
wearing, like a power line haircut. Like
my brain flashed to the Looney Tunes one where they were all gritty and serious.
oh yeah, Tunes Lunatics Unleashed.
I think that might have been it.
Yeah.
I know that's not Disney, but that jumped into my head. But yeah, that kind of era with all the
I mean, just like what was '90s Disney? We got like Gargoyles. Goof
Yeah,
Troop.
it's everything on Disney Plus right now. DuckTales.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, I've been wanting a DuckTales ride in general. Like,
Duck
it's just the Magic
Fifth King
Kingdom.
Duckburg.
Can we
But
have a Duckburg park?
That could maybe. I mean, that could expand out into just like an animation park.
We were talking about a whole thing of dogs and cats. So yeah, that was
Yeah.
That's what the animal. We have Animal Kingdom, but then we have like Animal Park, and it's like
Pet Kingdom.
it's Animal Kingdom and then Common Animal Kingdom. It's just like lizards and ants and stuff. It's all the stuff they would
Bees.
normally relocate.
Oh no, not the bees.
The
Step on into the
bees.
bee conservatory. It's like the butterfly thing at like the garden festival, but it's just bees flying around.
I'm just imagining that gif of Oprah when they reveal the big box
Yeah.
and like the bees flies out. Oh,
I mean, a 90 like you could easily make a nostalgia park. It's just
Oh,
like
absolutely.
all like it. It would be like the Disney Castle, like it would be like Cinderella Castle, but it would just be all like teal and pink, and it would
And
be all
black.
angular.
Yeah,
no,
Cyberpunk.
I have it.
It's just all
That's
heart-shaped.
how you bring back the castle cake.
Oh
There you
yeah,
go.
from the 20
No.
That's
Is
the
there, like,
90s.
Is there like a
Also-
food themed park?
No, Food Rocks was the only thing.
No.
We had. And
Okay.
I guess Living with the Land, kind of.
That's our new park. It's just all food.
VeggieTales the park.
No.
We just went over the Bible themed stuff.
Bible experience or whatever it's called.
What about? I was
The
thinking
Holy
about like.
Land.
The Holy Land experience.
I thought you
Thank
said Pokeland, which how is that not
No.
a thing?
you. Weird Al Yankovic Park. Go on, sorry.
It's just like a Milo Murphy's Law ride. What
No, it's just never mind. It didn't work.
what was I gonna say? I mean, you said Disney XD. There's a lot of properties that Disney has on Disney XD.
And they're all on cheap sets, so they're easy to recreate.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you can
Even
have
like,
that,
do you
but-
remember the Disney Channel games that they used to have, where they like
Oh,
it was all the stars of like the Disney Channel shows, like Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Hannah Montana.
like Hannah Montana, Sweet Life,
Sure.
and like they'd all
Ori in
just
the
get
House.
together at the ESPN Wide World of Sports at Disney World,
Oh.
and they'd play just
Mhm.
terrible like sport games. It's like
Oh.
try and
It was
get the egg
amazing.
the court. Oh, don't drop the egg or whatever.
I think
It's like
It
that
was like
stuff.
a summer camp day.
Yeah.
I remember Dylan Cole Sprouse being like, "Oh, those were the worst." Like, I recall them saying like it was hot and we had to be outside and be doing sports the whole. It was like a 3-4 day shoot or something like that. I don't recall if it was them at least, but I mean, isn't that just Wide World of Sports?
that could be. That
It
could
was.
be-
I think that's where they filmed it. Yeah.
I was going to say that could be a nostalgia cash grab as well. There's all the Disney shows that they had. You could have like the hotel from the Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. You could have
Disney
a
live
live
action park.
yeah, exactly. A live action remake of the Disney parks.
Action is in the title.
I want
I
to
mean,
go.
And then you have like live stage shows. Where,
Montana comes out and performs.
yeah, exactly. They're all back.
Yes.
I was
Corey in
that
the
actually-
house.
He's back. They're all back.
I was just thinking.
What
So
else
we
is there?
have
Wizards of Waverly.
That's so
Place, sorry.
Raven.
what is
There.
each
Yes,
what is each part
Wizards.
of our premise? We have Magic Kingdom, which is yesterday, tomorrow, and fantasy. We have
Sure.
Epcot, which is science and innovation. We have
Okay.
Animal Kingdom, which is nature. Oh, am I wrong about something?
I think what you said about
I have a different
Epcot.
take on it. Well, I just have a different take. To me, like Magic Kingdom and Epcot are closer tied than people realize. They're both parks of fantasy, but where one is fiction, one is non-fiction. I kind of see like Magic Kingdom
Yeah.
as like this is the not fantasy, and then the nonfiction, where there's still that sort of fantasy in Epcot, but it's not more grounded in the real world. It's really a celebration of humanity.
Yeah.
Everything we are and everything we can. It's just something that's always kind of been my mantra. But please continue. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
When I was there,
Derail
they
you.
tell us each of them had a keyword. It was Magic Kingdom was fantasy, Epcot was discovery, Studios was action, and Animal Kingdom was adventure.
Ah, interesting.
That's actually a really good
So
like.
what are we missing?
I
What
Where am I
what
going
broad
with this?
Genre?
I hate to say this because I'm not into it at all, but it's the only thing that's different than all the parks that doesn't really have its own thing. Sports.
No,
NBA.
stop.
Yeah. But how do you make a park out of sports? You can't appreciate sports the same. I don't know.
It would be like
how
a
would you make a
series
ride out
of
sports?
pavilions.
I think
and then,
Sports museum?
I don't think you could do just straight sports. It would have to be something through the lens of sports.
Yeah. Activity.
Like
I
you could do like a tour of the U.S. and like each city is represented by a team, and you're sort of seeing the city through the eyes of the team. Does that make sense?
yeah. I mean, pitch me a ride.
Troy Aikman's concussion experience.
Okay. I'm going off. What?
What?
Okay,
Do they
but
just
what experience?
No.
Troy
Troy
Aikman's
Aikman's
concussion experience.
You know how it's the like flight of passage ride vehicle, except the handlebars are much closer, so that way they just launch you forward and crash you into another guest.
That's like a Tiny Toons guy.
I feel like I really have a concussion.
It's like Avatar. It's like Flight of Passage if the wall in front of you didn't open up. Just like
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Whack! Ah! Wow, Disney, you really made me think I have a concussion.
Because I was thinking NBA experience. Like when they announced that, I was like, how do you even make that like a whole building with multiple things? Like
It's a museum.
basketball's pretty straightforward, I'd assume, but they made a thing out of just like jumping, running, throwing the ball.
That's what I mean by activity. It feels like I don't know, 90s jump rope for heart promotional stuff. Like I feel like I'm back in middle school, and I should say middle school.
Yeah, like a
like
a
elementary
track and
school.
field.
Yeah,
park.
yeah, exactly. That's what it
No.
feels like. Or like it's just like, yeah, let's get active and do things. Lazy Town. That's the fifth park is Lazy
The
Town.
opposite. You literally just went flip opposite. We're going lazy now. Like concussions.
So the axe
Sit on the couch. Oh,
But Lazy
what about Wall-E? Remember when they're in like the chairs that just go around?
Oh,
I mean, first of all, Wall-E goes in our sci-fi park.
yes. That would fit.
Yes.
There's
Absolutely.
IP to put in the sci-fi park, Disney.
We've had some people who've said Wall-E should be in Tomorrowland, and somebody even like pitched us a whole attraction, like a Rise of the Resistance kind of thing, but with Wall-E, and I'm like, oh
yeah,
my God, that's a
remains
great
of the
idea.
Axiom. Yeah. Wally's also like a visually stunning thing, so it's easy.
That would go in the Pixar
Easy
park.
sections. Yes.
You
Yeah.
just get rid of Pixar. I don't want to say Pixar doesn't belong in the parks, but they've just never done anything spectacular with Pixar attractions.
Oh,
honestly,
I thought you said Pixar hasn't done anything spectacular, and I was like, what? Even
Not in the past
Tyler, get out.
Ouch.
I think there's a point. It's like Disney seems to have a Pixar problem in terms of the parks. Like, there's never been that really awe-inspiring Pixar ride.
Have you guys been to Cars Land?
Oh,
No,
yeah,
not
that's
yet.
right.
Oh, we're
Not yet.
That's right, I did. No, you're
we-
right. Then
to
Cars
escape
Land
from
is
Disney
it.
security, we are planning on flying all the way over to Disneyland.
yeah, we're going where no one will ever find us. Cars Land.
Right.
I guess that's true though. Radiator Springs Racers is one of those.
But
like,
aside
super
from,
rare attractions.
aside from Cars Land, what is there? Pixar Pier? Toy Story Land? Not
Ratatouille.
exactly.
all these
Ratatouille, yeah. But like
This-
it's
The
been
Nemo
really
stuff
like
is all good.
Yeah,
No,
well,
I
not the
disagree.
Tokyo
Wait,
one.
Wait, what Nemo stuff is good?
The stage show is good, but the
That's true.
seas is
I
horrendous.
love the seas.
Oh my goodness, no!
There's no beginning, middle, end. There's no
At
heart
the
to that.
end,
No, it
at
just
the
feels like-
end, there's a tiny starfish, and he's like saying goodbye, and they have the great song. It's a big
Yeah,
blue world, and
the
then
song's
Dory's
not
like,
cute.
I'm blue too.
they're all.
I mean-
listen, I'm not saying.
But
it's
you also
not
have to
cute.
remember that was shoehorned into a pre-existing ride.
That's what I'm saying.
Which-
is that, and
They've
that,
never really had the freedom to be what it could be.
yes.
Which
I'm gonna have a
wasn't
Disney
anything to
confession.
begin with.
Oh, yes.
I don't
This
think
is-
I
and
the
ever
subs
did
are
the
good.
non-Nemo version.
No.
I mean, the seas did have
The
the
subs are
hydrant
fun.
before.
The what's fun?
Yeah, not bad.
The subs, the Nemo subs are fun.
We'll get to
Like I
we'll get
wouldn't
to
do it like every day, but
1,000 Leagues, but it became Nemo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That could be.
But
fun.
like for
Uh,
something that is
I would-
such a huge part of its brand, it's been so like there've been like the rare bright spots, but
yes.
so much
Do you
so much wasted potential.
do you think that maybe it's because the movies they come out and then they're very spectacular, but they're not a profitable title that they can continue to work on? Like Toy Story, that's kind of what Toy Story and Finding Nemo have together. Is there, and I guess also, also The Incredibles. All these Pixar movies are ones that have had sequels so far and have been proven to be profitable IPs. And brand names. When people see The Incredibles, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's a good series," and so they can continue to make them. The ones
I
that are
think
continuously profitable.
What
are the
I
only
was-
ones that get-
But I think
Oh,
a
sorry.
lot of Pixar movies are beloved. They just don't get
Yeah.
sequels because there's no point. Like everyone loves Up.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like what would a sequel to Ratatouille even be? I mean,
the health
like
inspector.
I don't.
Back. Back.
Oh
This
wait,
time
I
he's
could
determined to get
tell
rid of
you.
the rest.
They get tasked with entering a cooking competition.
Oh, that's it. Or they involve.
but then it's
Oh.
just Cars 2. It's
exactly.
literally Cars 2 with the Ratatouille characters. Except
I
for
know.
Please
the
don't ruin
spice
my
stuff.
Remy.
Make the movie infinitely better.
That's the thing about current Pixar.
Secret
stuff.
Agent Remy.
Oh,
I'd
that
watch
would be
that.
embarrassing.
Oh no, wait! It would have to be
Who
it
suspects a rat?
would be a meal.
Flushed away.
I was gonna
It
say
would
that
be a meal. You're right.
they're like Disney. Whenever they make something like Zootopia was made with the concept that they would do a sequel and they would sell merchandise and make a video game
Well,
and all that kind of stuff.
That's
like,
not
they
Pixar.
and I was gonna say like I don't know if Pixar necessarily what.
nothing. I was there was something I was going to say. Not going to say it, but I gave a knowing look to the camera, so anyone who realized what I was going to say doesn't matter. Don't
Oh,
worry
about
about it.
because furries.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways,
I was
profitable.
I'm not sure if Pixar has that same mentality of like let's make this knowing that we're gonna possibly make more and we want to sell a bunch of toys and we want to like look at like Leica for example. Like I don't think Leica says oh, well we're gonna make a sequel and we're gonna make a television show and we're gonna
No.
sell toys.
Well,
I don't think you could sell toys off of Kubo and the Two Strings. I think they just wanted to
You
make
could-
a good movie.
you could sell like
Yeah.
figurines. Could you imagine like a Infinity? They have the little figures, but no.
But yeah, I think Pixar doesn't have that same mentality. Okay, like let me ask you this
No.
question. Like something like Snow White can become a dark ride. It
Yes.
can become the coaster. And it can put you in that universe or in that world because like it's easy for you to be in that world. But how do you become in the world of Incredibles? Because they're superheroes. Are you a superhero? And this is my problem with what Marvel Land is going to be, is how are they going to make you feel like you are the superhero? But that's why Incredicoaster is bad. You're on a regular roller coaster and the Incredibles are just there. Like,
Sure. I mean, but I was going to say
Right,
Marvel.
because you're not incredible.
Exactly. Like, we are not superheroes in that. The main draw of Incredibles is, I guess, you want to be a superhero, right?
That's why. Okay, so at the superhero park, what they have to do is they have to offer a steroid cocktail, so that way when you're happy with it and you get all muscular and superpowered, the perfect solution.
I said this before on News Tonight when we were talking about Toy Story Land and Country Bears and everything. Certain attractions have a heart to them, and Incredible,
Yes.
like the heart of Country Bears is the concept of we're all weird, but we're a big happy family, and we want you to join us next time. Like, come back and for a few minutes be a part of our family and everything.
We're just here to celebrate.
Figment did have a heart to it. It was
Rest in
Figment
peace.
himself.
Now
Now
that-
it doesn't.
Now it's
But-
buried under the floorboards, and we can hear the beating.
But there's a heart to Incredibles, which is what's the word I'm looking for?
It's a
Like, not
dysfunctional
a
family.
dysfunctional family
Almost.
that still can work together.
Yes.
They're still
Well,
nuclear, though. Like, let's not
and-
forget that.
What?
They're
Still
still
what?
a nuclear family, though.
Yeah, that's the
they're,
other thing.
they're an unconventional nuclear family.
Yes.
But do you get that when you go on the ride?
No. You get
No.
the thrill of being on a roller coaster.
Monsters Inc. has a better attraction than Incredibles does. And that attraction was a terrible, quick rehab of Superstar Limo. I'm not saying that's.
Oh, I
and
did
that's the thing.
forget Ride and Go Seek in Tokyo. That's a decent Pixar ride.
That too even
It's
has
actually
some kind
not
of-
that great. As
Really?
someone who has ridden it.
Oh.
Speaking of Tokyo and Japanese culture, Studio Ghibli Land.
Oh yeah, how the heck have we?
Yeah.
That would. Could you imagine like the beautiful like? I don't know.
If you can adapt
visuals
that artwork into
into
a
a
physical
style?
space, yeah.
You could have very easily. You could have Baron walking around. I'm sorry, Baron is the Catman from The Cat Returns.
Oh, okay.
Carrie
And you
Elliot's
could
still
have
alive?
like
dialogue.
He's still alive.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
like Howl's Moving Castle. Like that's like your hub.
Oh, cool.
I mean,
Each one,
I
there's
don't.
attractions.
And then
I've
attraction,
seen exactly I think I've seen one Studio Ghibli film, and that was many years ago. But you know, the visuals. I think you could
yes,
build these
could-
different
you could
lands
construct a
off
whole
of.
land around it. Spirited Away.
There's
That could be the one spooky ride.
Each of those movies do have this unique
Yeah.
world that
Exactly.
could be its own.
That could
mini
I feel like could be
land.
blended together quite well. You could go to the
Ponyo's
Catman.
Ham Palace.
The Spirit World. The Spirit World could just be a functioning hotel. Every now and again, No Face walks down the corridors.
Oh my god!
That would be so great.
no. That
Don't
would be
go Anna.
terrifying.
Just like
That
just
would be
like the Star-
terrifying.
There's a spider guy in the basement.
There's this
There's a
really
spider
Spider guy in the
Final
interesting.
basement. Are
Fantasy.
we back on Marvel?
a spider.
We could. I mean, we haven't talked about Marvel.
No, well, that's the thing. We haven't talked much about the IPs. I think that eventually Star Wars Land is just going to spread like the flu across Hollywood studios.
Like the flu.
and
my
just
god!
start building and they're just gonna turn it into a big Star Wars LARPing area, basically, which would be fun for LARPers,
Well, so-
but is kind of disheartening for like, you know, the corporate nonsense that is overwhelming us.
There's this really cool theme park in Utah that I really want to go to, and it's called Evermore. And it's set in like the Renaissance kind of fantasy world. Matt apparently knows what I'm talking about. But
I know of
You-
it, but I've never been.
yeah. You go and you dress up as a character, and then you enter this wonderful world and you meet all of these different characters that are like specific to this theme park, and you have like missions and stuff and like lore to explore, and that's what I wish that Star Wars Land was. Yes, it sounds amazing and I really want to go.
Don't you like that one rebel just walking around and being like, "Whoop"? Sorry, that's what
Nice.
Galaxy's Edge.
Nice.
I'm talking about V.
I actually
I was gonna say that's just
I had some
that's
great
just-
Kylo interactions when I was there,
That's good.
but
Dude, I mean, I'd like to have a nice interaction with Kylo.
Jesus,
Ren.
Tom.
Tom, yes.
That'll
Again,
go in the
this
game.
is the overnight
The game
show,
part.
folks.
The gay park has like themed strip shows, so we have like
No,
sexy
stop.
Okay, well, that's the end of that joke.
Please give
And
the
on that
toys for
note,
Tots,
it's time for the
folks.
next show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome
No,
to
stop.
welcome to
stop.
Prince's After Dark.
No.
Ron, you were saying about interactions with Kylo Ren.
They were fun, but like I was wearing a Rebel shirt, so they kept all the stormtroopers and Kylo every time they saw me would come up and try and say something. But it got really annoying when I'm sitting there holding my 6-month-old and Kylo's trying to intimidate me. And I'm just like, first of all, I'm not going to get. I don't get intimidated by a dude in the costume in a second, and they really get annoyed when you don't get intimidated by them. But the second is like, I'm playing around for like 30 seconds, and then I'm like 2 seconds away from going, I'm holding a crying infant now. Can you please just go away?
Right.
I can't
Like,
imagine
read the
saying
r-
that to a character.
That-
Like,
that-
what
yeah,
would
that's-
the
that's
response
like- Like they're just trying to do their job and have fun, but I mean that's a hard dilemma.
Read the
Yeah.
room, Kylo.
Yeah.
Just read the room.
I don't.
It's
Yeah,
a baby.
I feel like if you said that to Kylo Ren and he was really in character, he would just pick up the baby. And be like,
Pick up the baby. He'd steal your child. This is mine now.
can you imagine that somebody saying to Kylo Ren, "Excuse me, I'm holding a child"? Like, sorry, I'm not, that wasn't you necessarily saying that, Ron.
I can
it's just
picture that in my head.
That wasn't my Ron impersonation.
Karen, you can't talk to Kylo Ren like that.
Oh, it's Karen. Of course, it's Karen.
That's all I got.
We're okay. So we're nearing the end of this episode. Before security, hopefully before security.
Well, before we
comes
have
and
to
gets
leave,
us.
before security realizes we're here, before they do their routine check to kick us out,
Yeah,
we don't want to get arrested again.
we watched them for weeks, and we noticed that at 4:20 they always seem to go away.
Yeah.
That's weird, all right?
Well, I mean, it's not that weird. I'm usually there with them.
Wait, what? Oh, okay.
Don't worry, I have a
Oh, that's I
badge
got
that
the key
says.
code.
Yeah, sorry. A badge. I've taped my face to it so that way they think it's my ID.
Yeah, they can't tell because it's 4:20.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
We're supposed to
Okay.
be
Well, anyways, I think we should. What did we come up with? We got spooky.
we have
Kingdom.
a scary park. We have a lizard.
I asked, "What did we come up with?" And Matthew started laughing.
We have a scary park. We have a literature
It's been a
park.
journey, folks.
Yeah, this has been a very blueprinty episode. We have spooky literature. We have
Disney
sci-fi.
Channel. Sci-fi. We have sci-fi. Disney Channel stuff. Teen Beach Movie: The Ride. Sorry.
All right, or do they try and drown you and you wake up in a magical land? What do we?
Just
Okay,
like
so
Bioshock.
what are our names? We haven't talked about BioShock. We have Spooky Kingdom. What would the literature park be called?
Book Kingdom. Storybook.
It doesn't have to be Kingdom.
I was going to say Storybook Garden is already a thing, but
The
could be
library.
the library. that would be confusing.
The
I'm
library
going
of
to the
adventure.
library.
The Library of Adventure is not bad. The Library of Discovery, the Library of Imagination. Those could be libraries within this place.
You're
The
saying,
literature adventure.
Where are you going? Oh, I'm just going to the library to study. Oh, okay, that's fine.
The City of Libraries.
We could just call the park school.
School. That way no kid will ever go to it. So we had the literature park. What else did we have?
The other one was Sci-Fi Park. What would Sci-Fi Park be called?
The experimental prototype community of tomorrow.
right.
I'm done. No, I'm kidding. What could that be? Vernland?
Jules
It ended up
Verne?
being something generic,
Yeah.
like Worlds of Adventure kind of thing.
World, yeah.
You said
I think
Vernland,
you have to call. I think it's
The Outer
Tomorrowland.
World. Tomorrowland? I mean,
Just
I guess you
using
could
tomorrow.
expand it to a full park.
Outer
Tomorrow.
Worlds actually sounds kind of good.
Outer World. That's already a thing.
I know that's a video game already.
The Outer
but-
Colonies. No, you can't say colonies. That would be bad. Disney has put the first colonies in the stars.
Wait, okay, so like it's sci-fi.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, it's a park, so it's a big landscape. And I'm laughing at my own joke before I've said it.
Yeah.
It's like a landscape, and it's like space, which is like far away. So why don't we just call it
Farscape? Really? Well, why don't we call it Babylon 5? Battlestar Galactica Land.
Why? Well, okay. So it's a trek to get to the park.
Oh no!
A Star
It's
Trek.
in the stars. So why don't we call it Witch Mountain?
Nice. Nice.
Is there any way to escape from this conversation?
Escape,
Yeah.
escape from.
Yeah, but you may return to it.
Okay. What was the most ridiculous? What was the really ridiculous? We had the Country Bears part. That was pretty out there, but there was one other one.
Countryland.
I think the one with all the old attractions.
What's that?
We had the one.
Oh, the Great
one
Bird
with all the
Attraction.
old.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like
I mean,
we can't
like
call it Funkland.
No.
Memory Lane.
Memory Lane's not bad.
Oh, that's a
pretty-
cute idea.
That's a great marketing tactic. I like that.
Disney's Memory Lane, and it's just
The
like
world stole your childhood. Disney's giving it back.
it's just like a series of
Dollars are
houses.
100, or tickets are $100 a piece.
The whole
And they already have all of the merch. Like they can just pull up the old designs.
It's all the digital, all the PSD files that they have lying around. Do we have those original JPEGs?
The shirts that didn't get sold.
Somebody has like a screen print, and they're just like, "How do we use this thing again? What is
park.
it?"
Instead of
Put paint in, then you slide it across.
The fifth park could be a Disney bootleg park, where Disney just they just make it all bootlegs of Disney stuff. Like here's the bootleg Haunted Mansion. Here's the bootleg
Bootland.
bootleg.
like I drive, but Disney.
I drive.
A statue of Will Disney and Mikey Mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You princess
Didn't
movies
say
you
that.
see at like the checkout at like CVS kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes.
gosh.
Unscrupuland. I mean, that's
It's-
already. That's
Oh.
already been a joke.
WDW.
Tom Corliss is the mascot.
Mom wants to ride alone. That
That's it. It's a ride where you just sit by yourself. And it's the experience. Like the carts are so small, you can only sit by yourself, and everyone's spaced out, so it's completely silent. You just ride yourself through it.
There's like a stand on it for your phone already. Like a gimbal is just like implanted in there, so you can do ride-alongs.
this goes back to like that Instagram park, like influencer.
Yeah.
Land or whatever you call it.
Influencer
Influenza.
land.
I think that's a good joke.
Our social media influencer land. Can we just make Disney Quest about like Disney Quest but a park? Like a giant arcade park. Like I guess we didn't really talk about video games.
Disney doesn't own that many video games. They have that terrible mobile app. Though, okay. What's
Emoji Blitzland.
Mochi? What?
It doesn't
Oh,
necessarily have to be. No, I
Mochi.
see what it. I see what they're getting at. It doesn't necessarily have to be video games. Just a very interactive park where you're required to interact on every attraction.
That'd be
Interactive land? I mean,
It's the one where they hook your brain up to the VR world. You're interacting.
can Innoventions just be its own park?
Um,
Sorry, we're trying to wrap this up.
yeah. Do you mean
Or
like,
Best
do you mean
Buy?
like a big style park? The internet.
I mean,
The
just
internet, but
it's
it's
just
a
a
park.
park where like innovative, like
That
it's
was
just like
supposed to be Epcot.
that's Epcot. Yeah.
Except the only thing I remember from Innovations was the lab where they had all the fancy drinks at.
Oh, I thought you were just talking about Spectaculab, but you're talking about
Light Lab.
That's
I
all
believe
I
it's
remember.
currently a pile of rubble.
Yes.
Oh,
Rest in
I love
peace.
Moana. Like what does everyone think? Like, okay, with everything we've come up with so far,
Yes.
what is your choice?
Yes.
Let's start with Alicia.
Spookyland, hands down.
Spookland? Spooktown.
I like creepy. I like scary. I like goth. So
There's
I'm
a-
going Spookyland.
And then it's always lovely to have a place to celebrate that. I guess it's us next if we're going clockwise, unless you want to go with the guests.
Sure, we can go clockwise to make this less interesting.
Oh no! I mean, no. It's fine. You do the order.
Well, you're next in the visual.
Technically, yes. I'm all about this literature land. I know it's going to be completely boring to everyone except for me, but I would love something that's devoted to books. We could even incorporate comic books into that, and then you have your Marvel tie-in and that
graphic novel city.
Give something graphic novel city. Nope, couldn't think of it.
All right,
comic city or something like that. I'm sure that's like what, Planet X? No, what? No,
Planet X is the comic book store.
Yeah, it is a comic book store, but there has to be like a comic book store called Comic City or something.
Snail.
Yeah,
Anyways, my choice is Spookyland. I really like the idea of going out of just like Main Street is so pristine, and just going the opposite direction of just stuff can be decrepit and creepy or crumbling, and I certainly like the horror aspect of things, like giant monsters more than princesses and pirates and things.
Yes.
I mean, you could have pirates. I'm sure there's like a spooky pirate thing.
Well, the pirates turn into skeletons.
Blackbeard's Ghost the Ride. But yeah, I'm certain.
But Blackbeard's Ghost isn't
Keep the movie club.
If only
Keep
just
the
because
movie
that's
club.
if only that's because that's where the Gravity Falls section would be.
Oh yeah.
That's where I would go Spookyland.
Okay.
Ron?
I really like the idea of the sci-fi land just because there's so many worlds you could do that are those kind of immersive environments that they're moving towards, but you could do kind of smaller versions because, these aren't that well-known properties we were talking about, or, so they could be smaller versions of that with one or two attractions, but just a lot of them.
Pizzazz.
Pizza? What? Pizza Rizzo, the park.
It's just,
I mean, I still love a sci-fi, but I like most of what we came up with. But yeah, sci-fi, I feel like that's another genre that you can do so much
underrated.
with,
You could combine them both.
Can be anything.
The sci-fi and the spooky
There are
part. There's not
so many
one half-
subgenres within that genre.
Yeah,
and that
even spooky.
Yes.
has so many different things.
that you can do a lot with it.
Matthew, what's your choice?
I mean, my choice would probably be Memory Lane. I think nostalgia sells. I think it can be a focal point for those who miss it, and for those who maybe come to realize that maybe the past wasn't as great as we want to remember it as. Yeah,
Wait, so you want to make a park that shows people that it's not as good as you remember?
It's a park to
I want to make a park. I want to make a park that it can mean how it can be, however you see it. There's no wrong way to look at it.
Okay.
All right.
It almost is. It's like a museum for parks or for Disney rides.
Yeah, I guess
You go through them and you're like, oh wow, so this is how they did this effect way back when. This is what, I mean, that would be good even if nothing else to go see the better versions of older rides that have been shut down. I mean, better. Of course, the point you're trying to make is that maybe they weren't as good as we remember them. But I'm thinking Journey into Imagination, first one.
Well, you know what? I think we have enough to submit our own pitch document. Ben, you were writing all that down, right? All right, that's not here. Okay, well, we've got to go back and somebody's got to go back and rewatch this.
Ben was our lookout. He's gone. That means we're in trouble. Okay. All right.
Ooh, boy.
All right. Well, we've got to get out of this Imagineering office. You know what? I think our plan to go. What are you doing?
Grab as many documents as you can.
Okay.
There's got to be something here we can use to help Rehab.
You looked like you were about to stand on a chair. So
No, it was just fine post.
I found a stretchy bone. Will that help us? Oh, look. Wait. It's books all about imagining. Oh, you found something.
I
What
think
is
I
it?
found something. This might be what we're looking for. I'm gonna hold on to this.
Okay. I think that book is called Tots. All right. Well, anyways, this has been Ride Rehab. We want to thank everyone for watching and listening. And we're going to start making our way over to Disneyland. It might be a long trek. It might take us a couple months to get there, even though the plane ride only takes 5 hours. But we should be there fairly soon. And maybe when we get there, we'll meet everybody, like all of you. But Alicia, Matthew, Ron, thank you for joining us, and hopefully you can escape as well. Play us out, Jason. Oh yeah, thank you so much for watching the show. If you want to find out more about Ride Rehab Podcast, you can go to iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, everywhere you listen to podcasts. We also have riderehab.com. It's sort of a culmination of everything that we have. Sort of the artwork and all the links to find us out here online. And we're continuing to make new and exciting content on WWN, which is mostly stuff that comes from my being ridiculous. So thank you so much for listening to Ride Rehab. If you're watching the Marathon Show, stay tuned. We have a lot more programs for you to enjoy. We gotta get out. We have programs home. It'll be very handy. Is that Joe Rohde's hearing? Here's Joe Rohde's hearing. Thanks for listening to Ride Rehab.